When Alina told me it was over, I felt something in me collapse. I remember staring at her face, waiting for her to chuckle and call it a joke, but she didn't. She stood stiff, her arms crossed like I was a stranger. I asked, "What's happening? Why are you talking like this?" But she didn't blink. When she finally spoke, her voice sounded colder than winter. "I'm done," she said. "I can't keep doing this." "Tired of what?" I asked, hoping she would look at me, but her eyes stayed glued to the floor. "Us," she said. "Everything feels heavy." "Heavy how?" My voice cracked. "Tell me what I did wrong." "It's not about what you did," she replied, but the way she shrugged made it feel like I was a burden she didn't want to carry. "I'm just done." "Done with me?" I whispered. She didn't even hesitate. "Yes." Those 3 letters cut deeper than anything I had ever felt. I asked, "Is there someone else?" I didn't want to ask it, but the silence between us felt wrong. She didn't deny it at first. She just let out a long sigh, as if the question annoyed her. When she finally said, "No," her voice shook. I heard the lie before I understood it. My chest tightened. My hands felt cold. I felt like I was standing in the middle of a storm with no shelter. I tried again. "At least tell me why you didn't say anything earlier. Why today? Why like this?" "Because dragging it out is worse," she said. "I don't want drama." "So breaking me like this isn't drama to you?" She flinched for a second, then shook her head like I was bothering her. "Please don't make this harder." "Harder for who?" I wanted to scream. Instead, I stepped back because her eyes looked like stone. I realized she had made this decision long before she told me. When she walked out, she didn't look back. The door closed with a soft click, but it echoed like thunder in my ears. After she left, I sat on my bed, staring at the wall. Minutes, maybe hours passed. My phone buzzed again and again, but I didn't move. When it finally rang non-stop, I checked and saw Ryan's name lighting up the screen. I didn't pick up. A few minutes later, my door burst open. Ryan stepped in. "Bro, you look like hell." I let out a broken laugh. "I feel worse." "What happened?" "She ended it," I whispered. "What?" "Why?" he asked, sitting beside me. "I don't know. She said she's tired." "That's it? That's her reason?" He ran a hand through his hair. "She didn't deserve you, man." I didn't believe him, but the way he said it made me breathe a little easier. The next day, Mira pulled me aside at work. "You look pale," she said. "Are you sick?" "I'm fine." "You're lying," she said softly. "What happened?" "Something at home," I said. "It's nothing." She didn't push, but her worried eyes made my throat close up. Later that evening, Saad called. "Mom says you're quiet," he said. "What's wrong?" "Nothing." "Liar," he said immediately. "Tell me." I exhaled. Alina ended things. Silence. Then, "I'm sorry, man." Hearing that made something inside me soften. I didn't know how much I needed someone to say that. That night, I lay in bed replaying her last words. "I'm tired. It's over. Don't make this harder." Every sentence stabbed me again. I kept asking myself what part of me wasn't enough. Was I boring? Too quiet? Too soft? Did she ever love me at all? My head kept spinning around questions that had no answers. Ryan texted again. "Ryan, you need anything? Food? Company? A distraction? I'll drag you out if I have to." I replied with a single word, "No." But I appreciated it. The next morning, I almost reached for my phone to check if Alina messaged me. She didn't. Not even a single, "Are you okay?" Nothing. It was like she threw me out of her life and forgot I ever existed. I walked around like a ghost for days. At work, people talked around me, but their words felt distant. Mira brought me tea and said, "You really don't look okay. Want to talk?" "No. Thanks." "You don't have to pretend," she whispered, but I just forced a weak smile. At home, Saad kept checking in. "You're eating, right?" "Yeah." "You're lying again." I didn't argue. One evening, Ryan dragged me to the rooftop of our apartment building. "Tell me," he said. "Tell me exactly what she said." I repeated her words. All of them. Every cold sentence. Ryan clenched his fists. "She didn't deserve you. She never saw what she had." "Maybe I wasn't enough," I murmured. "No," he said sharply. "You loved her. That alone makes you worth more than she realizes." I wanted to believe him, but the truth was simple: she moved on faster than I could breathe. By the end of the week, everyone around me noticed something was wrong, everyone except Alina. She didn't call. She didn't text. She didn't even ask if I survived the breakup. And that hurt more than the breakup itself. Because it made me realize something brutal. I was the only one holding pieces of something she already threw away. The days after the breakup felt slow, heavy, and unreal. I kept telling people I was fine, but even my voice didn't believe it. Every morning I stared at my phone before work, hoping for her name to appear, even though I knew it wouldn't. Ryan noticed the moment he saw me step out of my apartment. "Bro, you look like you didn't sleep," he said. "I slept," I lied. "That's funny," he said. "Your eyes say 3 minutes." I shrugged. "It doesn't matter." "It does," he insisted. "Let her go." I pressed my lips together. "I can't just switch off my heart." "Then at least switch on your brain," he said. She walked away. "You should too." I didn't answer. I didn't have the strength to argue or accept the truth. My chest hurt too much. When I walked into the office, Mira was standing by the coffee machine. She looked at me carefully. "You okay?" she asked softly. "I'm managing." "That's not what I asked." I sighed. "I'm trying." "Trying is enough," she said and handed me coffee. "Thanks," I murmured. "You want to talk?" "No," I said. "Not yet." She nodded like she understood. Maybe she did. While I tried to focus on work, a new guy walked up to my desk. He was smiling like someone who still believed life was easy. "Hey, I'm Denial," he said. "I joined last week." "Yeah, I know. Everyone mentioned you," he cut in. "Rough week, huh?" My stomach tightened. "What did they say?" "Nothing bad," he said quickly. "Just, that you broke up with someone." I clenched my jaw. "Something like that." "Sorry, man. Breakups suck." "Yeah." He tilted his head. "Was it recent?" 3 days ago." "Ah," he said. "Then you're still in the danger zone." "The what?" "The stage where everything reminds you of her," he said casually. I didn't respond. Something about how curious he was felt strange. Too eager. Too informed. Too fast. At lunch, he sat next to me again. "You guys together long?" he asked. 3 years. "Wow," he whispered. "That must hurt." I stared at him. "Why do you want to know so much?" He gave a nervous laugh. "Just making conversation." I didn't like the way his eyes shifted. I couldn't explain it, but something felt off. When I left work, Alina's street was on the way home. I walked slower than usual, staring at the corner where we always met. My chest tightened until I couldn't breathe. Before I could stop myself, I took a turn toward her building. Ryan would have yelled at me if he saw me. I reached her door and knocked. My hands shook. She opened the door halfway, just enough to show her face but not enough to let me in. "What are you doing here?" she said immediately. I needed to talk," I whispered. "About what?" "Us." Her face hardened. "There is no us anymore." "I know, but please. I need closure." "No," she said quickly. "No more conversations. Please don't make this harder." "Harder for who?" I asked. "For both of us." "It's already hard," I said. "Just tell me what happened." "I told you everything already," she said, shaking her head. "You told me nothing," I replied. "You walked away without explaining why." "I don't owe you more explanation," she said. The word stabbed harder than anything before. I tried to keep my voice steady. "Did someone say something? Did someone come between us?" "No," she said sharply. "Then why can't you look at me?" She stiffened. "Alina, please." She stepped back. "Go home. I'm serious. I deserve at least one honest answer." "You're making this messy," she snapped. "Because you're acting like I never mattered." "I didn't say that," she said quietly. "Then say something that proves it." She went silent. Then she whispered, "I can't." A moment later, she closed the door. I stood there for a long time, staring at the wood, listening to the silence. My hands felt numb. My mind felt blank. I walked away before someone saw me break down. When I reached home, Ryan called. "Where are you?" "Outside." "You sound weird." "I'm fine," I said. "Don't lie. What happened?" "I talked to her." He groaned. "Bro. I needed to," I said. "I thought maybe she'd be honest." "And?" "She wasn't," I whispered. Ryan stayed quiet for a moment. "Listen to me. If she wanted to fix it, she would have tried." "I know." "No, you don't," he said firmly. "You're still hoping she'll come back." I didn't deny it. "You'll destroy yourself like this," he warned. "I already feel destroyed," I said. "That's why you have to stop chasing someone who won't turn around." Later that night, I scrolled through my messages with her. Our voice notes. Our pictures. Every memory felt like a needle poking through my chest. I paused at a conversation from last month, her laughing, teasing me, calling me dramatic. How did she change so fast? How did she turn cold overnight? My phone buzzed. A message from an unknown number. "Hey, this is Denial. Just checking if you're holding up." My heart dropped. Why did he have my number? And why was he suddenly so interested? Something wasn't right. Something told me this breakup wasn't as simple as she claimed. "Ryan, just tell me why you called me this late," I said, my voice dry, my head already heavy from another night of staring at the ceiling. He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he pushed his phone across the table. "You need to see this, bro." I frowned. "See what?" He cleared his throat, like he wished someone else could say the words for him. "It's about Alina." My stomach tightened, but I still reached for the phone. "What now?" "Just read," he whispered. I opened the screen. For a moment, I didn't understand what I was looking at. Then the names hit me like a punch I didn't see coming. Alina. Denial. My breath stopped. Lines of messages. Her words. His replies. Memes. Late night, I can't sleep, texts. Voice notes. Compliments. And dates. All before she ended things with me. "Ryan, what is this?" My voice cracked even though I tried to swallow the weakness. They've been talking. For a while. I didn't want to believe it until I got proof. I stared at the screen so long the text blurred. She said she needed space. She said she was confused. She said, I stopped, heat rushing up my neck. She was already with him, wasn't she? Ryan's silence was the answer. My hand shook. I put the phone down before I dropped it. I wasn't enough for her. The words slipped out before I could stop them. Don't say that, he said quickly. But it was too late. The realization carved itself into me. I spent nights trying to understand why she changed, why she felt distant, I whispered. Now I know. She didn't change. She replaced me. Ryan reached out, but I pulled back. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't sit. I stood up, pacing, trying to find one thought that didn't hurt. She told me she wasn't talking to anyone, I said. She looked me in the eye and said it. I know. No, you don't. I grabbed the edge of the counter. She lied while I was trying to save us. She lied while she was falling for him. Ryan exhaled shakily. I'm sorry, man. I pressed both hands against my face. Behind my eyelids, all I could see were those messages. Her laughing at his jokes. Her opening up to him. Her choosing him. Why him? I asked, though no answer could fix anything. Ryan hesitated, then spoke softly. Do you really want to know? I wouldn't ask if I didn't. He told people, she liked how he treated her. I froze. Something inside me snapped. Not loud, not dramatic. More like a rope pulled tight for too long finally giving way. I treated her like she meant the world, I said. Was that the problem? Ryan didn't respond. I wiped my face, but my hands still shook. I need air. Where are you going? To end this. Properly. I found Daniel outside the cafeteria the next day, leaning against his bike like he owned the ground he stood on. He spotted me, smirked, and folded his arms. I was expecting you, he said. I stepped closer. So it's true. He shrugged. Depends what you think is true. You and her. Before the breakup. His smirk widened. She chose who treats her better. Those words cut deeper than anything Alina ever said to me. I stared at him, waiting for the anger to explode, waiting for myself to swing or shout or break. But something else happened instead. I felt empty. Completely empty. I hope you treat her better than you treat your friends, I said quietly. He rolled his eyes. Don't be dramatic. She was already slipping away from you. I know, I replied. But now I know why. For the first time, his smirk faltered. Just a little. I didn't stay long enough to enjoy it. I turned around and walked away before the heartbreak could twist into something worse. Behind me, he said something I couldn't hear. I didn't care. That night, I lay in bed staring at the ceiling again, but it felt different. The room wasn't suffocating. My chest wasn't collapsing under the weight of questions I couldn't answer. I finally had answers. They hurt, but they were mine now. My phone buzzed. A message from Ryan, you okay? I typed back, not yet. But I will be. I put the phone aside and exhaled slowly. My heart still ached, but the confusion, it was gone. The what-ifs, the loops, the false hope, gone. She chose who treats her better. His voice replayed in my head, but it didn't stab me this time. Instead, it clarified something I should have seen earlier. If she truly believed that, then she never understood me. She never saw what I gave. She never valued the way I loved. She never cared enough to stay loyal. And someone who doesn't value me doesn't deserve me. I sat up, rubbing my eyes. I'm done chasing her, I whispered to myself. I'm done bleeding for someone who didn't even hesitate to replace me. The words felt like stitching, painful, but closing a wound. I stood, walked to the mirror, and stared at my tired reflection. You'll rebuild, I told myself. Piece by piece. And for the first time since the breakup, I believed it. I wasn't healed. Not even close. But I was finally facing forward. And I wasn't looking back anymore. I woke up the next morning with the echo of denial's words still lodged in my chest. She chose who treats her better. Every time I heard it replay in my mind, something inside me stung, but something else hardened. I pulled myself out of bed, telling myself, I'm done chasing her. I wasn't sure if I believed it yet, but I needed to start somewhere. Bro, you awake? Ryan's voice came through my door. Yeah, I said, rubbing my face. Barely. He pushed inside. We're going to the gym. I haven't even changed, I muttered. So change, he shot back. No arguments. I stared at him. You really think lifting weights is going to fix my heart? No, he said, tossing me a shirt. But it'll fix the part of you that gave up. I sighed, but I got dressed anyway. In the car, he asked, you still thinking about her? I glanced out the window. I'm trying not to. I blocked her last night. Ryan whistled. Finally. It doesn't fix anything, I said quietly. No, he said. But it stops you from bleeding. At the gym, every machine felt like punishment, but I kept pushing. Ryan stood beside me, counting loudly, 8, 9, don't quit on 10. I'm not quitting, I grunted. Good, he said. Because that's the version of you I want back. After the gym, I dragged myself to work. My body ached, but my chest felt lighter, just a little. Mira looked up from her desk the moment I walked in. You okay? She asked. Not really, I said. But I'm here. She nodded softly. Progress. I forced a smile. Barely. She followed me to my desk. Did you sleep at all? A little. Not enough. You want coffee? She asked. Yeah, I said. But only if you're making it. She smirked. Clearly you're healing. You're back to making demands. I laughed, actually laughed, and Myra's eyes softened. There it is, she said. I missed that. Before I could reply, my manager walked in with a cheerful-looking girl by his side. Everyone, meet Isa, our new intern. Isa waved at all of us, eyes bright, smile warm. When she reached my desk, she said, Hi. I'm supposed to shadow you today. Me? I said. You look the least intimidating, she laughed. I've been told that a lot lately, I said. Isa pulled up a chair. So, what do you do here exactly? Try not to cry, I mumbled. She blinked. Wait, what? Mira jumped in. He's joking. He's fine. I'm not fine, I corrected. But I'm functioning. Isa leaned forward. Is this a breakup thing? I paused. Is it that obvious? You look like someone stole your last samosa, she said. I let out a breathy laugh. Yeah, it's a breakup thing. I'm sorry, she said. But heartbreak builds character. That's what my mom says. Your mom sounds too positive, I said. She's a therapist, Isa replied. I had no choice. Mira snorted. You two are going to get along. Throughout the day, Isa asked questions about the projects, the office system, even my favorite snacks. She had this calm, warm energy that made it hard to sink into my usual heaviness. At one point she asked, Do you want to take a break? You look like your brain is overheating. I leaned back. I'm fine. You said that like 3 minutes after saying you're not fine, she pointed out. I'm improving, I said. That's better, she smiled. By lunch, I felt something I hadn't felt in weeks, peace. Not a lot. Just enough. Later, while grabbing water from the vending machine, Mira walked up beside me. You like her, she said. I frowned. Isa? She's just kind. That's why you like her. I'm not liking anyone, I said. I'm barely holding myself together. Mira softened. You're doing better than you think. I don't know, I said. Last night I almost called Alina. But you didn't, she reminded me. That matters. I inhaled slowly. I know. When I got back to my desk, my phone buzzed. Alina calling. Everything inside me froze. Isa noticed my stillness. You okay? I stared at the screen. It's her. Do you want to answer? She asked. My hand shook for a second, but then I hit decline. Isa's smile widened. Look at you choosing yourself. I exhaled shakily. I didn't think I could do that. Well, she said, you just did. After work, Ryan picked me up and slapped my shoulder the moment I sat down. You're glowing, he said. Did you punch denial again? No, I laughed. Just, had a good day. About time, he said. I leaned back. It feels weird. What does? Not thinking about her every second. That's called healing, Ryan said. Welcome back. I stared out the windshield. I'm not fully back. No one said you had to be, he replied. Just don't go backwards. When I reached home, I sat on my bed, feeling the quiet settle around me. No tears. No shaking hands. No replay of betrayal. Just a slow breath that didn't hurt. Ryan's voice echoed in my mind, don't go backwards. Isa's words followed, look at you choosing yourself. And for the first time since the breakup, I whispered to myself, maybe I can do this. I didn't know what version of me was forming, but I knew it wasn't the broken one they expected. Later that night, my phone buzzed again. It was Alina. Just one message. Can we talk? I stared at it for several long seconds, waiting for some old version of myself to wake up inside me, to panic, to hope, to hurt. Nothing happened. I felt quiet. I set the phone aside, face down on the table, and leaned back in my chair with a slow breath. For the first time, the silence didn't scare me. It felt like choosing myself. The next morning, I reached the office a little early. Isa spotted me near the entrance, holding 2 coffees. One of these is for you, she said, almost pretending it wasn't a big deal. I raised an eyebrow. You bribing me to be on time? No, she laughed. Just thought you might need it. Yesterday seemed heavy. It was, I admitted. We walked inside together. Something between us felt steady, uncomplicated in a way I didn't know I needed. During our break, she asked quietly, did she text again? Yeah. And, did you answer? No. Isa nodded as if she'd been hoping for that. Good. You're allowed to move forward, you know. Her voice lingered with me all afternoon. Later, Ryan checked in. So. How's the emotional warrior doing today? I rolled my eyes. I think I'm finally catching up to myself. About damn time, he smirked. Proud of you, bro. Walking home that evening, I realized something. I wasn't trying to win, or prove anything, or wait for some dramatic closure. I was rebuilding, slowly, unevenly, but honestly. I felt ready for whatever came next. My phone buzzed again. 3 texts from Alina in a row. I didn't check them at first. My thumb hovered over the screen, then I put it down. I can't believe she's still texting, I muttered. Isa glanced up from her notes. Do you want to read them? No, I said firmly. Not yet. You okay? I exhaled. I don't know if I've ever been this calm about her before. She gave me a small smile. Good sign. After work, I was walking to my car when someone called my name. Wait. Please, wait. I froze. It was Alina. She ran up, hair messy, eyes red. I need to talk to you. I stopped, not moving closer, but not walking away either. Please, she said, voice breaking. I made a mistake. Denial, he isn't who I thought he was. I tilted my head, studying her face. Is that all? Her lips quivered. I miss you. I shouldn't have. I held up a hand. Alina. Stop. She blinked. Stop what? Stop trying to pull me back into something that's already dead, I said quietly. I'm listening, but don't expect me to fall again. Her shoulders slumped. I just. Enough, I said, my voice firmer now. I've changed. I'm not the same person you left behind. She stumbled over her words. I thought. I didn't realize. I know exactly what you thought, I replied. But something inside me snapped when you walked away. I've rebuilt myself, Alina. And you? You only notice once you lose it. Tears welled up in her eyes. I'm sorry. Please. I can fix this. We can. I shook my head. No. I won't chase people who don't see my worth. I won't go back to someone who replaced me without hesitation. She gasped, as if my words were knives. You don't feel anything. I feel a lot, I admitted. Anger. Clarity. Relief. But not the way I used to feel when you smiled at me. She shook her head, voice trembling. I never meant to hurt you. I just. Intentions don't undo actions, I said. You chose to leave. And I chose to move on. Isa appeared at the edge of the parking lot, walking briskly toward me. Are you okay? She asked quietly. I nodded. I am. Finally. Alina's hands shook. I thought you'd come running after me. I thought I would too, once, I said softly. But not anymore. I'm done. Completely. Her lower lip trembled. I don't understand. I thought. I know what you thought, I interrupted gently. You thought I'd wait for you, chase you, forgive you. But I don't wait for people who don't value me. And I don't chase people who walked away. She began to cry, silent sobs shaking her small frame. I really am sorry, she whispered. I took a step back. Sorry doesn't rebuild what you broke. And it doesn't change what I've learned about myself. Her voice cracked again. But I love you. I exhaled, calm now in a way I never expected. I used to believe that. But love doesn't mean staying in pain. Love doesn't mean losing yourself while someone else walks away. I've learned that now. Alina's hands dropped, hopeless. I don't know what to do. Don't do anything to me, I said firmly. Do it for yourself. Grow. Learn. But leave me out of it. She sobbed harder, and I realized she wasn't used to not having me fall back. I didn't feel guilt. I didn't feel regret. Only quiet, steady clarity. Isa stepped closer. He's okay, she said, looking at Alina. He doesn't need anyone else's permission to live his life. I smiled faintly at Isa. Thank you. Alina dropped her gaze, wiping her tears. I never thought. You thought wrong, I said simply. I've moved on. And I will keep moving forward. You'll have to accept that. She didn't speak again. She just turned and walked away slowly, head down, finally understanding, too late, that I wasn't hers to pull back. I exhaled, feeling the weight of months lift. My chest wasn't tight. My hands weren't shaking. My mind wasn't racing with her lies and apologies. I turned to Isa. I think I'm really done chasing the past. She smiled, gentle but knowing. You are. And you don't even need to prove it to anyone now. For the first time since the breakup, I truly believed it. I wasn't broken. I wasn't desperate. I wasn't waiting. I was free. And I was already far away. It started with a knock at my door. I wasn't expecting anyone. Hey, can we talk? Alina's voice trembled from the other side. I leaned back in my chair, heart steady. Come in, I said, voice calmer than I felt. She stepped inside, eyes avoiding mine. I need to tell you everything. Please, just listen. I nodded. Go ahead. Her hands twisted nervously. I was confused. Denial, he pressured me. I thought you'd always be there. I thought you'd chase me forever. I swallowed. You thought wrong. Tears slipped down her cheeks. I didn't mean to hurt you. I never meant to. You did, I said softly. Every day you chose him over me, every lie, every smile you gave him while I was left guessing, that destroyed me. Her lower lip trembled. I know. I know now. I shook my head, cutting her off. Stop. I need you to hear me. I was broken for weeks. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't trust anyone, not even myself. And somehow, I rebuilt myself. From the ground up. Every piece of me that you left shattered, I put back together. And I'm stronger now because of it. Alina blinked, stunned. I never realized. I know, I said. But you should. At that moment, Mira walked in, carrying a coffee tray. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, she said, but she paused, eyes flicking between us. Ryan appeared behind her. You look different, he said, almost like a statement of fact. Thanks, I said, giving a small smile. I feel different too. Isa came in last, her presence calm, supportive. You okay? She asked softly. I nodded. Better than ever. Alina swallowed hard, clutching something in her hands. I wrote this. I never sent it. I thought maybe now you'd want to read it. I hesitated, then took the letter. Her hands were shaking. She let go. I unfolded it carefully. The handwriting was neat, but the words shook with guilt. I don't know why I chose him over you. I thought I was making the right choice, but every day without you has been empty. I miss your voice, your laugh, the way you cared. I realize now that I lost the person who loved me more than anyone else ever could. I'm sorry. I wish I could turn back time. I wish I had seen what I had before it was gone. I felt a pang, but it was different now. It didn't twist into the panic and despair it once would have. I looked up at her. This shows me you regret losing me more than you regret choosing him. She nodded miserably. I do. I get that, I said, voice soft but firm. And I won't lie, it hurts. But I can't go back. I can't give myself to someone who shattered me this deeply. I've rebuilt my life. I've learned my worth. And you've already lost me. Her tears fell freely now. I never thought you'd be, like this. Strong. Calm. Not desperate. I took a deep breath. I spent too long being desperate. Too long trying to fix what couldn't be fixed. Now I choose myself. She looked down, the weight of her mistake heavy in her expression. I understand. Mira stepped closer. You've come a long way, she said gently. Don't let her pull you back. Ryan clapped me on the shoulder. He's done chasing ghosts, he said. Isa smiled warmly. You've grown so much. And no one can take that from you. I nodded, folding the letter carefully. I won't forget the lessons. But I won't let the pain define me anymore. That's the final break I needed. Alina's voice cracked. I wish I could go back. I shook my head. It's too late. I've moved forward. And you have to live with your choices. She bit her lip, silent now, finally absorbing the truth. Her eyes searched mine, but I didn't flinch. I didn't soften. I couldn't. I handed the letter back. Keep it. Remember what you lost. Her hands trembled as she took it. I will. I took a step back. Goodbye, Alina. She didn't argue, didn't reach for me. She only nodded, a single tear slipping down her cheek, before she turned and walked away. I exhaled, relief washing over me. I was no longer tethered to her mistakes, to her lies, to her indecision. Mira, Ryan, and Isa each gave me quiet, approving nods. I felt their support like a shield, like proof of how far I'd come. I turned back to the window, watching her silhouette fade in the distance. My chest was steady. My hands didn't shake. My heart, once raw and exposed, was calm and alive. I smiled faintly, not for her, not for anyone, but for me. I was whole. I was free. And I would never let anyone take that away again. I walked into the cafe where Isa was already waiting, sipping her coffee like nothing had ever happened. Hey, she said, smiling lightly. You look different today. Calmer, I said, sliding into the chair across from her. And maybe a little wiser. She laughed. Wiser, huh? That's a big claim. I've learned a lot in the past few months, I admitted. Pain, betrayal, heartbreak, all of it. I finally get that it wasn't about me being broken, it was about who I was giving my heart to. Isa tilted her head. And I'm done giving it to people who don't value it, I said, firm but calm. I focus on the ones who stay, not the ones who walk away. She smiled warmly. I'm glad you see that. Some lessons are brutal, but necessary. I nodded. Yeah. Like Alina. She tried again. Oh. She came back, apologizing, saying she made a mistake. But I didn't feel the old pull, not even a little. I listened, I let her speak, but I told her, I paused, letting the words land, I'm done chasing people who don't see my worth. Isa's eyes softened. That must have been hard to say. It was, I admitted. But it was also freeing. She handed me a letter she wrote but never sent. Full of regrets, full of longing. I read it, and it hit me, she regrets losing me more than she regrets choosing someone else. But I can't go back. Not now, not ever. She nodded. It's a powerful moment when you realize your value doesn't depend on anyone else. Exactly, I said. I rebuilt myself from scratch, stronger than I was before. And no one can take that away. Ryan's text buzzed. Coffee break? I'm nearby. I showed it to Isa. Want to make this a small reunion? Sure, she said, smiling. Ryan arrived with his usual grin. There he is. My emotional warrior. Stop calling me that, I laughed, but I felt the pride in his eyes. I feel whole, though. Really whole. And that's all that matters, he said, handing me a coffee. Not who left, not who came back. You. Mira appeared moments later. I wouldn't miss this, she said, giving me a nod. You're finally free. You can laugh again, and it's real. I took a sip of my coffee, feeling warmth spread through me. I think I can handle real happiness now. No illusions, no chasing ghosts, no waiting for people to realize they need me. I get to decide that for myself. Isa's gaze met mine, soft and steady. And the people who truly matter will stay, right? Exactly, I said. People who stay are my world now. People who left. They don't define me. They lost me, not the other way around. The cafe buzzed around us, but I felt a calm bubble of clarity. I glanced at Isa and smiled. You've been a light through this chaos, you know that. She laughed softly. And you've been willing to accept help. That's growth. Growth, I repeated, almost tasting the word. I spent so long thinking I needed to be strong alone, but strength doesn't mean isolation. Strength means choosing who belongs in your life and letting go of those who don't. Ryan grinned. Finally, some emotional maturity. About time. Don't get used to it, I teased, but my heart felt light. Mira sipped her coffee. Look at you, finally living for yourself. I smiled and nodded. Yes. Living for myself. That's the difference. I'm not running after anyone. I'm not waiting for apologies or closures that may never come. I am here, and I am enough. Isa reached across the table and gave my hand a gentle squeeze. You've earned this peace. I let myself enjoy the moment, letting all the chaos of the past months dissolve. The betrayal, the heartbreak, the sleepless nights, the doubts, all of it was gone. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't hurting. I looked out the window at the people passing by, lives moving forward, and I realized mine was moving too, steady, deliberate, free. I took a deep breath. I didn't lose anyone, I said softly, almost to myself. They lost me. Ryan chuckled. And now you're untouchable. Not untouchable, I corrected, smiling. Just, finally free. The rest of the afternoon passed in easy conversation, laughter spilling naturally between us. I felt connected, alive, and at peace in a way I never had with Alina. As I walked home later, the sun setting behind me, I felt no regrets, no shadows from the past. Only clarity. Only strength. I had moved on. Without looking back. And it was the most powerful choice I'd ever made.